RealAgriculture.com's coverage of the 2011 Farm Progress Show in Regina is brought to you by Morris. So Brenda, what do you think is going to be the reality post August 1st, 2012?
I don't think, to put it mildly, we're not scared. You know, we've been marketing board grains through the board. We've been, doing a lot of research on wheat, barley, and durum marketing on the other side of that wheat board curtain for 8 years. You know, our analytical team is made up of 4 people who have most of us have had some involvement trading board grains in our past careers or experience with flour mills or malting companies, or, it's not a scary prospect for us. And I guess I'm not saying that so much to say, wow, we're so smart about the wheat markets. It's more to say, farmers, I know this is a big change, and I know that it looks like, a confusing world out there, but there's some similarities that I think you'll find right away. For example, malt barley. We've already got production contracts with an act of God clause. It's just going to end up being marketed like large green lentils. It's the same kind of makeup of buyers, same quality specs, very important ethical thing. You can't blend low quality with high quality. That one's just going to be easy. Or it's going to be very similar and a smooth transition to a production contract type of marketed crop. So then you look at durum, and if you look at the numbers, the amount of tons that Canada produces, the importance of Canada in the world trade, the number of important buyers and sellers all over the world, that one is a lot like flax. It's even about the same volume in a lot of years. So flax, it has its certain habits and structure. The price moves 50 cents or $1 a bushel at a time. It doesn't move, like $1 or $2 a ton at a time like canola does. It has these wild swings. Sometimes you can't, sometimes there's pockets where there's no market, and when a crop condition changes here, or a big crop change occurs in one of the consuming markets, that has a big influence on the price too. So those, I think you'll see some similarity in how prices behave there. Now wheat, I guess that's the big question, right? What happens with spring wheat marketing? What's that market look like? And I think it's a little bit too simplistic to say the canola price with all the world trade heading out the west coast, that the wheat price will just be backed off in the same way as the canola price, and so we'll see, here's your 113.5 and a basis of 20 under. It won't be quite as straightforward as canola, because making flour out of wheat is a bit of a fussier science than crushing canola for the oil. And what you see in the U.S. markets is a lot of volatility in protein premiums and in the spring wheat basis. And it has a lot to do with end user needs characteristics. It's also a very big market. It's almost like approaching rice, where you have so many different buyers, so many different qualities and varieties, and they all have their own interaction. It's not that complicated. Just to say it's maybe more complicated than a market like canola, or we'll see wider changes in the basis related to quality that will add a degree of complexity to marketing the wheat that we're not really dealing with now.
So do you think that a lot of the talk has been is that the single desk protects smaller farms? Do you think smaller farms can survive in an open market? Can they not?
Oh, that's a minefield right there. I don't know.
What's the biggest opportunity for farmers in an open market?
Taking control. Sorry, go ahead.
Say it. Sorry.
Well, just taking control over marketing. Period. The idea that the wheat board monopoly protects smaller farmers is a weak argument, because they're only marketing 30% of the production mix of a small farm. So even if they are, they've only been doing it to a degree. I like to think that our work goes a long ways to protect small farmers, because we focus on the individual's profitability, and that's what it takes to stay in business, is to keep making money year after year. A sales monopoly is a long ways away from that guy's bottom line. Understanding, costs and what do these prices mean to my profitability. That comes into all of our decisions. And an individual farm's profitability, that's the monopoly does like market development to try to achieve the highest basis premium in all the different markets of the world every day. That's a long way from a small farm. To just take control of that marketing, to take all crops into a portfolio type of a view, perspective. Say, I got all these crops to sell, and I want to get the highest price from the whole basket. How do I do that? That's the perspective that makes farmers the most money. That's the starting point. That's your sum total revenue. that you got to look at it as this, like, what's in my hand, because when the day comes where you don't, you forgot about that fertilizer bill that was coming, also you need to generate $200,000, the right crop to sell is the one that has the least amount of upside potential. That's not been an easy decision to make with board grains in that mix. Like, any time that we have to deal with that, it's like, okay, well, I can't deliver and get paid for the wheat. The malt barley isn't going to get called for until December. And, none of these things are necessarily, I'm not blaming the wheat board for that being the reality. That's just been the reality. And so, I could easily argue that those costs in the system were worth the development of the resources, of the market intelligence, of the, I might not say it's worth 400 jobs, but there's definitely some value there that goes along with those costs. But the opportunity for farmers, I think, is to start taking control over the costs and the revenues in their own sort of individual portfolio. And that there will be more money from that perspective change, irrespective of what the price change is without the monopoly. That's worth a lot more.